Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the second episode of CEO Chats. I'm Megan Wright, your co host for this series where we explore the trends, tools, and tactics driving innovation. I hope everyone had a great holiday season and is ready to jump into 2025 with us. We're kicking off the new year with an exciting episode packed with insights that you won't want to miss. So, today we're diving into some exciting topics that are shaping the future of innovation. But first, let's take a look at some of the innovation milestones from last year. So, Nick, 2024 was a year of rapid change with breakthroughs across technology, policy, government. Can you share some of the biggest moments that really stood out to you?
Sure. I'll share kind of two things, one for IdeaScale and one more broadly for the world. For IdeaScale, we were really proud to have been acknowledged as the top in our category on a bunch of third-party rating organizations such as G2, the idea management category, which is where our software sits. So that was pretty awesome to be ranked top and best in class in those categories. In the world, I think we finally started moving to what I would call intelligent AI. So it's very easy about 2 or 3 years ago when the chatbot revolution happened to have AI that responded like a human being did, but it still made reasoning errors. It would give you garbage or hallucinations. And over 2024, we got a lot smarter as a civilization, really, at making AI intelligent or near human level of intelligence, which is a tremendous accomplishment from a technology perspective.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for those reflections, Nick. It's definitely incredible to see how far we've come. But as we know, innovation never stops. So, looking ahead into 2025, one of the most exciting topics on everyone's mind, like you were saying, is AI. So, let's talk about what we can expect next. I know you've been following the AI space closely. So, what are some of your biggest predictions for AI innovation in the year ahead?
Sure. Yeah, as you and probably everyone at IdeaScale can attest to, I love AI. Not as a buzzword, but as an actual means to make our lives more productive, whether that be in our personal lives or our professional lives. And I've obviously pushed for a lot of adoption of AI tools. I think I'd make three predictions for 2025. Number one is that we'll rapidly switch to what is called multimodal AI. And historically, over the last 2 or 3 years, AI has really been about chatbots interacting with bots through text. And I think in 2025, it'll be multimodal input and output. That means an AI tool or set of tools that can interact with sound, with video, text, all simultaneously, and also output that. And we've rapidly started seeing these multimodal AIs, which have sensory inputs and sensory outputs that can combine different forms of media. And that makes it powerful at two levels. First, that's how the real world is, right? When you're chatting with someone, you're not just hearing the words they see, or you're not just hearing the words they say, but you're seeing their body language. You're hearing tonal differences. You are sometimes, if you're shaking hands, their handshake may be different, and so those are multimodal interactions that we as human beings interact with the world with. And AI in 2025 will move into that multimodal arena, and it really has. Um, Second is a big difference versus 2024 versus 2025 was I think 2024 was the era or the year of all these alpha versions of tools, marketing AI tools that sounded like great, but were just buzzwords. These pieces of software didn't really work well, or even if they looked great, they didn't actually create productivity for humans. They were great marketing buzzwords. I think 2025 is the year where we move into commercially useful piece of software. And by useful, I mean they're not just looking cool or sounding cool, but software that actually generates value. It makes your life easier, either in your professional life or your personal life, right? Like last year, I could have asked a chatbot, give me some shopping recommendations. But I think in 2025, we actually have personal shopper type AIs or medical analysis AIs, tools that are actually useful and impact our life. And I think the third big change that started to happen, really it started to happen around November of last year, but it'll continue in 2025, is AIs that can reason or logically think through problems, right? It's very easy to actually, about 2 or 3 years ago, to write an AI that says, tell me what the capital of Britain is, right? Information recall or text. But if I asked it to calculate, my risk of a certain disease given, my family history on certain things, my genetic profile, that requires thinking or higher order reasoning. And AI tools were really, really bad at this till about November when the models started coming out, such as ChatGPT's o1 Strawberry, that started doing reasoning. And a good personal example of this was in November, I was trying to buy a house for investment purposes, and I asked these AI chatbots, "Hey, figure out what the ROI on this is. Should I invest in this house? Is it a good decision?" And it spat out something super complicated that looked right. Right. But then, just being paranoid, I checked out the math and it was dead wrong because it wasn't able to think through logically. It was just able to spit out a bunch of very, very fancy sounding stuff, but it actually gave me the exact wrong answer. Today, if you actually do this, the AIs, particularly specialized AIs, but in general, all of the AI tools have gotten smarter. So they're approaching kind of a human level of IQ or human level of reasoning intelligence. And that's really cool because when you're talking with an AI tool in any sphere of life, you're not just asking it to give you information, right? When you're asking, what's the capital of Britain? You don't just want London, you want to understand a bit of the history. You're asking for a lot of subtext underneath that. And these AIs now can actually think through, why is Megan or why is Nick asking me this? And let's actually help them think through the problem that they're trying to solve in their lives.
Yeah, those are great insights. It's always exciting to hear how AI is continuously evolving. Those are very interesting examples, comparing how it was acting just recently to how it's evolved in just these few months. So, speaking of changes in 2025, let's shift gears a little bit. We've been hearing a lot of buzz about the IdeaScale and DOGE campaign. And while IdeaScale isn't officially partnered with DOGE, this open campaign has definitely caught the attention of innovators everywhere. So, Nick, as the driving force behind this project, can you give us a sneak peek into what it's all about and how people can get involved?
Sure. So, as many of our audience know, there's a new Trump administration coming into play in like what, a couple of days now, and one of the administration's key stated goals is they want to make the government more efficient, right? The US government has a $6.8 trillion budget in 2024, which is around 25% of the US economy. That's an exorbitant amount of money. And look, while the US government provides a lot of services for a lot of people, at the same time, there's probably tremendous opportunities for efficiency, which is what the new administration has said is going to be a key priority with this new department called the Department of Government Efficiency, run by two gentlemen, Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, that's going to try and make government more efficient, not only lower costs, but more deliver higher value to us, the constituents of the US, at the same level of, or sorry, at a higher level of efficiency. And IdeaScale supports that, right? But one of the things we observed was people were going on Twitter, or now called X, and submitting all these terrible ideas on how to make the government more efficient, sometimes really toxic ideas such as doxing people. And we realized, wait, that's a bad way to crowdsource ideas. You don't just insult people in public squares and say, you fire this employee, or here's where this, senior government official lives. That's a really bad way to, you're doxing people. You're not actually helping the government become more efficient. So we said, look, there's already this public square conversation happening on Americans around the world, or Americans around the country, pitching in on how government could be more efficient. But let's do that in a more structured way. And thankfully, that's literally what IdeaScale's software is designed to do, is create a public square where people can contribute ideas, evaluate ideas, and iterate on others' ideas. So we created this website called doge.ideascale.com, DOGE.ideascale.com, where anyone in the world can contribute ideas on how to make the US government more efficient. And if you don't have a great idea yourself, you can go look at other people's ideas and say, hey, Nick submitted an okay idea. Let's tweak it a little bit and make it a great idea. So we launched this about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've got dozens of ideas. I think we've got over 100 contributors already. We're aspirational that we can get that into the thousands or millions, because there's a lot of people who have ideas on how to make the US government more efficient. And I think we'll all have a much more efficient government if we work at it together rather than rely on, two people running a newly formed department.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing all of that, Nick. Yes, it's really been exciting to see all the crowdsource ideas rolling into that campaign. So it's clear that 2025 is going to be a groundbreaking year for innovation. And thank you to everybody who joined us for today's episode of CEO Chats. As always, we've got some exciting topics lined up, so make sure to tune in every other Tuesday at 1 p.m. right here on LinkedIn Live for more exclusive insights from Nick Jane. We will see you next time.